Hello and welcome to Zafiralis All Rounder Championship. Tonight we are round 2 at Rockingham Lake Rallycross, a custom configuration put together by the Zafiralis team for this one. And tonight we're going to be using the XRT. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Let's see what we've got in store. A brand new track, making use of the Rockingham environment here in Live for Speed S3, a 1 kilometre, 0.6 mile rallycross course that makes use of quite a bit of the back part of the Rockingham infield circuit, as well as some of the grassy sections and gravel around the track. As you can see in the background there, the track has been quite nicely put together by the team here, and we look forward to seeing how everyone gets on with it this evening. Here's the XRT 2-litre turbocharged inline-4 rear-wheel drive configuration. And this is it's been a while since we used the XRT in anything on our channel, so excited to see the rear-wheel drive variant of the TBO class here for this evening's action. Back to that race format then, that event format. We're going to be following on from the format essentially that we had last night in the finale of the Master Race Car Rallycross Championship, with 4-lap heat races and a 5-lap final. So that the 5-lap finals, that's going to be the way this works, except a slight difference that everybody who is here tonight will get a chance to battle their way through the finals. So a slight difference from the top division bracket being set for the finals. Everything else will be as predicted, as expected, as usual from a rallycross round, we hope. And there has been a 45-minute qualifying session in the background to determine the starting order for the heats, and it's finished with Gerard Thornless. It's Sufor who has managed to get overall pole position in qualifying, followed by Kirill. Tim Ducknodder, who we saw yesterday, did very, very well in the final round of his own championship. Then we've got Igorka Thanuli, also there last night in the season finale, with El Nano, Madjester, Dodislav, Michael Malik, Redbot rounding out your top 10. Then we've got Matti, Lorenzo, Motta Macari, Magic, Roni, Martin Kapal, Asker, Abscargo, Kata and Nacho, the top 20. And then just one driver on our second page. It's Ugly Puppy, who is in 21st and last in qualifying. And we wait to see really what the heat draws are going to be. I think we have them ready to show. Bear with us one moment while we try and resolve the graphics. While we resolve our graphics issue, we're going to go straight to the track and get the first round of racing in for this evening. And we've got cars away already. Apologies for the no-show of the graphics there, but we have a heat race underway, and it's between Martin Kapal, Magic, Abscargo, Kata and Roni. And they're already down to the first hairpin here. And there's lots and lots of bumping. Not going to be policed as strictly the bumping tonight as it was in the Rallycross Championship, and that's for the better, because we want these races to come nice and thick and fast, and the car is a bit slower and should be easier to handle really than some of the cars last night. But immediately there, Martin Cabal losing the ground to Magic, who comes around the grass section to complete the first lap. Almost here. There's 2 corners to go. Final corner, over, start, finish. It's a quick lap here. And across, start, finish. Magic for race green leads in heat number 1, race 1. As Martin Capel takes over the lead, making up for that slight mistake that he made earlier. And into first place in our first race here. Oh, and a spin for Magic there in the background, and a bit of a pile up at the back as well. And, well, Kata 3rd place at the moment, Abscargo P4, and it's Roni at the back, but Martin Capel is stretching a bit of a lead here. So a great start for him, that's for sure. And on to the final lap then, with a big lead. And remember that it is race time that is important here, as the rest of the field follow through. And it's very close at the back, closer really than we've seen in quite a lot of rally competition recently. And Roni and Abscargo are fighting for those final 2 positions. It's Roni at the back just for now, but lots can change in not very much time. As around the final couple of corners comes Martin Capel. And he is going to win this one comfortably. So a great start to his night. Over, start, finish. Magic is going to take P2. Then it's going to be Kata, Abscargo and Roni close to the line. But Roni in the end finishing in 5th place there. So yeah, these races are going to come at you thick and fast this evening, ladies and gentlemen, as we there have the results from that race. Martin Capel, Magic, Kata, Abscargo and Roni. Let's take a look then at the next race grid that we are going to have in this event. It's going to be between Michael, Redbot, Matty, Motomikari and Lorenzo. The next race will be getting underway in just a couple of moments' time. While the grid order is set. As we are on for race 2 then here. There is our grid of cars ready to go. We've got Michael, Redbot, Matty, Lorenzo and Motomikari, and we are green. And it's a great start for Matty in the middle, and there's a bit of a pinch point as Michael Malik goes to the inside. And that'll be the inside line for the hairpin, but disaster there for Motomikari, who's been pushed all the way to the back. And Lorenzo up to P3 then in this race as Michael Malik pulls away at the front. Over the halfway line there, sort of a bit of a sector time. And Matty getting quite close, but wider through the final two corners for Matty. And Michael Malik will lead onto lap number 2 then. Closely followed by Matty, then Lorenzo, followed by his teammate Redbot, who is himself close with Mortimer Carey, who, being a Finn, has to have some sort of rally pedigree, surely, and will be hoping to get past Redbot as soon as he can. Michael goes on to lap number 3 and takes the fastest lap of the race as well, 43.88. Bit deep into the hairpin though, that's going to give Matty an opportunity. And through he comes. Still with a 1 second lead over the rest of the field, with half the race, or just under half the race to go now. Final lap then, and a bit of a bump off the wall for Michael, but this is going to be a safe result, I think. Just 3 corners to go. Bad little kink there. And then what is essentially Kirby on the normal rocking configuration. A bit of a wobble there, but onto the tarmac and across the line will come Michael Malik to seal the deal in his first race of the evening. Matty takes the fastest lap and P2 overall in the race, and Lorenzo will take 3rd. Then it's Redbot and Mortimer Carey finishing last. He won't be happy with that at all. As we take a look at the results, Michael in 3 minutes 1, followed by Matty, Lorenzo, Redbot and Mortimer Carey. And the next race is going to be coming up very quickly. That's going to be between Thamuli, that'll be El Nano, Mad Jester and Dodislav in race number 3 this evening. Interestingly, in that previous race, it was a joint fastest lap between Matty and Lorenzo. So very, very fast race indeed. As we move on to race number 3, just going to be the 4 drivers in this one. But it's going to be drivers who we have seen competing in the MRC Rallycross Championship. So we expect some good things from them here. As you can see the lights, and we are green, and we are go for race 3. Nano is the only driver here who's not done the Rallycross Championship. Oh, into the wall, into the first apex goes Nano. And he's wide, and that's allowed. Sorry, that's Dodislav who was in the lead. Nano gets through. And now Majesta is trying to find a way through as well. Mooley up to P3 in this race, with the headlights popped open, as several of the drivers have decided to do. And across start finish they go to start the second lap, but a big lead at the moment for Nano. Oh, but hard into the wall. Actually, that seemed to help the car rotate, which is a bit unusual, and it doesn't seem to have affected his lead at all. A little bit of damage, but who's counting? And around and over the bumps and jumps he goes then. And on to lap 3 as Majesta is trying to make it past Thamuli. Oh, a big send into the hairpin and a body slam, forcing Thamuli onto a tighter line. And Majesta is going to try and run this around the outside. I don't think it's going to work. I think Thamuli's got to run. Oh, there is overlap. And they're going to be side by side through the rest of the infield section. But Thamuli stays ahead for now. As Thamuli goes wide, and that could compromise him, but I think he's got the overspeed around the outside line there, and that does allow him to cut back in front. Majesta, you have to find somewhere else to get through, as our top two begin now to pull away. And Thamuli is live on his Twitch channel. If you want to get his perspective of the racing this evening, you can check out his onboard for any of the heat races that he's competing in, of course. He's live at twitch.tv/Themily_. As we're on now the final lap, and it's Nano who leads with a... Well, actually, yeah, he's finished now. My apologies. That was the final lap. It took me a little bit by surprise. But Dodislav, second place, Thamuli and Majesta. That is the result of race 3, and here they are, confirmed for you. Fastest lap for Nano there, 43.34, and a 2:59, faster than the second heat race that we saw. So Nano on some great pace there. Fantastic to see. As we take another look then at the grids, and the final race in Heat 1 is going to be contested between Sufor, Krill, Tim Duknoda and Igorka. Sufor, Krill, Tim DC and Igorka are all on the track doing their practice, so we should be getting started pretty rapidly. Here we go then for race number 4. Heat 1 will be over at the end of this race. We'll be able to get some provisional... we'll be able to get some results of our first heat. See who is the fastest of our drivers this evening as we get a good start. And it's Tim DC in the blue and yellow who'll want to sort of make up for last night. He wasn't happy with his result and his performance, and at the moment, well, he's at the back with a lot of work to do. Sufor losing a place there into turn one, because it's Kirill who takes over the lead of the race on the outside line, and Sufor tucks back in behind. Riding on board with Sufor over the grass, just 2 corners to go to round out the lap. Back onto the tarmac at Kirby, and we sort of drive up the hill and over the grass where Piff and Paff would have been, and then into a very, very tight hairpin, which turns into tarmac right at the last minute, which makes it even more difficult. And Sufor is trying to find a way through Kirill, but Kirill doing a fantastic job at the moment, even opening up the gap to Sufor then. And in the background it's Igorka, who has got the better of Tim Ducknodder. Tim Ducknodder will be certainly looking to make up some ground here. As Kirill comes over the start-finish line to start lap 3 in the lead, as Igorka takes the fastest lap. So Igorka's closing into the front of this race as well. Oh, and that was close from Igorka, nearly pinballing into the back of Sufor there. Can't have been any air between those 2 cars for a split second there, as Sufor piles on the pressure yet again, trying to get a line through. Oh, and Kirill's made a mistake. He's hit the apex, and that's allowed Sufor straight back through, and he retakes the lead. An over start finish. He goes onto the final lap. Kirill's right behind him. And let's see if he can get through at the hairpin. It's not an easy place to overtake. You have to have a really good line through there. Oh, and he's ridden the wall, and that's allowed Igorka now to close up. And Tim is right there as well, so P2 certainly not safe, but Sufor has opened up a bit of a lead now on this final lap of Heat 1. The race is coming at you thick and fast this evening, yet again. Big fan of the rally format here in Love for Speed. Plenty of action, as around the final corner they come. And across the line, Sufor wins ahead of Kirill, Igorka and Tim DC. 4th place in his first heat, but a fast heat that. All the drivers across the line within 2.5 seconds of each other, which means that's probably the fastest heat we've had so far. And we'll get full confirmation of that in just a second's time. Let's take a look at the combined results then of the first heat. And see how they all look. It's Sufor with the fastest time in Heat 1, followed by El Nano. So the 2 TAV teammates doing a stellar job there to take the lead in Heat 1. 2:58.92. And you can see there that Kirill, with his second place in that final race, he took P3 overall. Igorka also in that final race, P4. And Tim DC down the order slightly, but yeah, very fast heat race that last one there. As we can now take a look at the grids for Heat 2 and see how those all stack up. Going to be Magic, Kata, Motomakari, Abscargo and Roni in race number 1. Lorenzo, Thamuli, Majesta, Martin Kapal and Redbot in race 2. Michael Malik, Dodislav, Tim DC and Matty in race 3. And the fastest drivers from our first heat, Sufor, Nano, Kirill and Igorka, will be in race number 4. The grid is being set for the first race then of this heat. And let's see how this compares to Heat 1. The drivers are driving against different drivers this time, of course. As the grid is ready in the background, let's get racing once again. 5 cars in this heat. Magic, Kata, Martin McCarry, Abscogo and Roni. And we are green with 2 race green cars anchoring the wings of this grid as 4 does not go into 1. And we have contact at the back, and that's going to be 3 or 4 cars into the wall. Abscargo there, as well as Roni, again struggling to get a good start and immediately pummeled into the wall. But it's Magic who has a clean start ahead of Mortimer Carey, who takes over P2. And Roni trying to make a move on Abscargo, and he's through. On the inside out of the hairpin. Oh, but touches the wall. Shouldn't hurt him too much. But there's a battle on at the front between Mortimer Carey and Magic then. As we're closing out the first lap, and Roni's already making another move. Oh, Kata into the wall, into the exit wall. Kata out into the weeds, and even Abscargo gets through as well. So Roni up to P3 then, on to lap 2. And it's Abscargo who's trying to find a way back through. Roni goes deep. So does Abscargo as well. So a little bit of reprieve there. As Magic and Mortimer Carey have opened up almost a 3-second lead over the rest of the field. As Mortimer Carey really starts to pile on the pressure then. As we ride on the roof cam of Mortimer Carey, let's see what a lap of this circuit looks like from his perspective. Down over the first grassy section once again. Bit of a higher vantage point, so we can see a bit more of the lap. As through the first hairpin we go. Magic a lot wider, but carrying better speed out of there. As Roni takes the fastest lap of the race. We get a little bit of a tightening here as we head up to the final hairpin of the lap. Oh, and there's contact. Mortimer Carey into the back of Magic, rubbing his racing, but certainly unsettling Magic's rhythm there. And on the inside now is Mortimer Carey, but Magic has the outside line and the superior grip as we come on to the final lap, side by side through the chicane as well. Both drivers leaving each other just enough room. But my, Magic is having his work cut out now as Mortimer Carey sees an opportunity, darts to the inside, but he can't hold the position. Magic still with a nose ahead. And cuts in front. What can Mortimer Carey do? He's running out of opportunities here. This could be a good one over the jump. But Magic's still there. A bit of a shove from Mortimer Carey. Now pushed to the outside. You can see how close Roni's managed to get to this. And one misstep and these two could lose out on the win. But it's the inside line for Magic. And I think Magic is going to get it. Yes, he does. He holds on to it in the end. And wins a very exciting first heat race for Heat 2 there. Mortimer Carey second, Roni third, Abscargo fourth, and Kata comes across the line in P5. So another blisteringly fast heat, that one. That was actually quite a lot slower than the previous heat, my mistake, 3:07. So good battling and good racing at the front, but not the fastest by any stretch. As the next grid in the background gets ready. And that is going to be contested between Lorenzo Thamuli, Mad Jester, Martin Kapal, and Redbot. The drivers are ready and the grid is set. We are going live for race 2 of Heat 2 here. And here we go. Lorenzo on the far left as we look at the grid, and we are away. And Martin Kapal in that yellow machine is away. Oh, and a clout of the barrier for Manchester there. Hit the apex of the first kink. We don't really count it as a corner even. And Redbot then also struggling at the beginning of this race. Lorenzo down now to P3 as the Mooley and Martin Capel battle at the front. As Mooley's trying to find a way through and does so on the outside, carrying the momentum, but Martin with a better line retakes the lead. Sort of a repeat of what we had just before. Here's Lorenzo's perspective as we look at him. Can he influence the front of this race? Of course, he's just announced and today released the trailer for the upcoming race green events Rally World Cup or World Rally Cup, and you can check that out on Lorenzo's YouTube channel. Stunning trailer and a new series to enjoy in Live for Speed. And he's got his work cut out here to try and keep up with Martin Capel and Thamuli, who hit the apex and are holding each other up now at this point. And Lorenzo could have a good opportunity on Martin Capel, but it's not a good exit onto the home straight. Thamuli with a very wide line, opening up that gap by quite a bit as we're on to lap 3 now. And more contact with Martin and Thamuli, and Martin's putting himself all sorts of out of shape. Luckily blocked Lorenzo while he was trying to recover, but that's allowed Thamuli now to get ahead and open that gap up once again. Fastest lap by Manchester of 43.74. Not the fastest we've seen this evening, but he's doing that from the back of the race, so that's what happens when everybody else is tripping over each other. The driver at the back is setting the best times. But now we might see a bit of a change because Thamuli has got a breakaway at the front. He has a solid gap now and it is opening up. It's 1 second currently. As a bit wide into the hairpin goes Martin Capel. Slightly different line to Thamuli. Thamuli much tighter with his lines. And we'll see if that has a knock-on effect at the split line, which is coming up after the next corner. Here it is. And I think it has. I think Thamuli has opened up that gap. Well, in fact, it's come down. My mistake. Visually, it looked like it had gone up, but the timer and the stopwatch do not lie. Martin Capel closing back in. Another fastest lap from Manchester, and this time it is a competitive time, so he is closing into the field, but the gap is just too big as we finish the race with Thamuli taking the win, followed by Martin Capel, Lorenzo, and Redbot, with Manchester coming last, but he did have that fastest lap honour. So good pace from him, but unfortunately didn't have the opportunity to use it in this race, as there are the results. Another quick heat, a 3-minute one from Thamuli, and just 1 second back for Martin Capel. Here we have then the grid for race 3, and in the background that is Tim DC already doing some practice. Michael Malik will be in that race, as well as Dodislav and Matti. So just 4 cars for race number 3. Here we go then for race number 3 in Heat 2. Quick turnaround by the race organisers as we look at the cars on the grid. It's Michael Malik on the left, Dodislav second left, Tim DC middle right, and Matti on the outside right as we run down towards T1 once again, and it's Tim DC this time. Tim Dicknodder into the lead. Side by side between Dodislav and Michael Malik, and Tim is away clean. That is important to get the first corner clean. Matti a little bit held up with a bit of a bump from Michael Malik, who now drops to the back, and it's Dodislav in P3. Dodislav's proving himself on many different types of racing recently. LMPs, GT3s, now the XRT in rally spec, so Dodislav's trying to do it all, and he's doing it well as Tim DC now opens up almost a 2-second gap in this race already. And Tim, well, he knows his stuff. He knows how rally works. It's all about that overall finishing race time. He'll be looking to get the fastest Heat 2 time of anybody, and he needs, in order to do that, he needs to keep everyone at bay, and he's not going to do it if he's running that deep into turn 1. He's lost some time there to Matty and to Dodislav, as you can see there. They have bunched up ever so slightly. Here we are riding on board with Matty, who has a slightly creepy looking Pepe helmet there in the mirror. As we see what it's like to follow in the dust trails of Tim DC, but hard into the wall for Matty. That's going to compromise him a lot, and that's allowed Dodislav through. So change of position there for P2. Michael is struggling there at the back. He just cannot get a foothold in this race. As down to turn 1 comes Tim. On the outside there for Dodislav, and there's more contact between Matty and a pinball effect, and Michael Malik lost a lot of time. In fact, I think he was going backwards slightly after that one. But Tim now with one of the largest gaps we've had so far, almost 2.5 seconds over everybody else. And the 4-car heat is going to be quite a quick one here, I think. The faster you are, the less drivers you get in your heat, and the faster your heat can be, as there's fewer cars to trip over. Final lap then for Tim. Then Dodislav, Matty, and Michael Malak, who will surely not want to be last in this one. What can he do to try and get through on Matty then? And as we come over the sector line, let's see what the gap is back to Dodislav. It's going to have increased, surely. Over 3 seconds now, the gap. And let's see what Tim's overall race time is as he comes around the final couple of corners. I'm not sure it's going to be the fastest. He made a couple of visible mistakes on the broadcast. But let's see what it is. What did he manage? It's not the fastest we've had, but it is fast. It's sub 3 minutes, 2:59.04. Dodislav comes across the line in P2. And then we've got Matty closely followed by Michael Malik in the end. Not much to pick to choose between them. There you go then. Your results for race 3 between Tim DC, who wins, Dodislav and Matty the podium, and Michael Malik there in P4. Final race then for Heat 2, and that's going to be between Sufor, Nano, Kirill and Igorka, who are already out on the circuit practicing. As in the background there we have Kirill, who is chasing down Igorka. And we have a grid ready to go for the final race in heat number 2. Get the show on the road. We have some lights. And we are away for the start. It's a good start for Sufor on the outside there. And yes, it is Kirill who streaks through into the lead, but he's been spun round, and Igorka will get through. So too will Nano. So what looked like a dream start for Kirill goes horribly wrong. And it's Sufor who leads the way. Teammate drops to P3. Kirill drops to the back, and it's Igorka who's the big winner, up 2 places into P2. And now it's a straight shot for the line. You'll notice no joker laps here this evening. It is just straight racing. No added complications. What you see is what you get. As we come up to the start-finish line. Great little track this. Definitely has the technical elements you'd want from a rally track. Just wide enough in some places to be nice and flowing, but tight in others to make it slightly more complex. And the drivers seem to be enjoying it. As over the split line we come, and we'll see then if the gap between Sufor and Igorka starts to drop as we head to the halfway stage in this race. there we go. Lap number 3. Close in the background between Nano and Kirill. We come down to the hairpin once again. Sufor is being caught, no doubt about it, by Gorka now. And here we go then. Rounds to complete yet another lap. And it's Sufor who leads at the end of lap 3. Igorka, Nano and Kirill. Up to the line they come. And we are now on the final lap then. And the gap has gone up between our 2 race leaders. See how technical this is and how precise the drivers have to be. As around the final couple of turns comes Sufor. Let's see what the overall race time will be as well. Looked like a fast one. As across the start-finish line they all come, and it's a 2:57.97, a rapid time there from Sufor. Surely the best of the heat that we just saw. And that means then that we can try and confirm the results of Heat 2. And this will really show us who is sort of in contention in this one. And it is Sufor who takes the win in Heat 2 with that 2:57.97. Almost, well, just over a second faster than Tim DC's time, which was an equally good time. And we have Igorka, El Nano, Thamuli, Dodislav, Krill, Martin Kapal, Lorenzo and Matti round out your top 10. With Michael Malik, Redbot, Magic, Motomikari, Roni, Abscargo and Madjester there with Kata at the back. Let's see what the grids look like then as we begin Heat number 3. The grids will be confirmed for us very shortly. There they go. Magic, Motomikari, Roni, Abscargo and Kata will take place very shortly. Michael, Lorenzo, Martin Kapal, Redbot and Madjester will be in race 2. Kirill promotes himself up to race 3 there with Dodislav, Thamuli and Matti. And it's Sufor, Igorka, Tim DC and Nano in race 4. Fastest race that we will see. You can see the combined Heat 1 and Heat 2 times next to the drivers' names. The best 2 heat times will set the order of the finals. The fastest times will be in the A final. And we will move down like that through the B final, C final, and assumedly we may have a D final. We are predicting a D final will take place, so let's see how it goes. Run 1 coming up for Heat 3. The drivers eagerly waiting. As we get a restart now. And we have a grid. Fair play to the Zafiralis team for trying a new format, which seems to be working quite nicely. As we have Roni not having a great start there, but it's Kata who drops back to last place immediately. But a great start from Motomikari as the cars go over that first bit of a jump. Magic's trying to get the inside line and has it, forcing Abscargo to the outside, and Roni also getting through, and Kata, so Abscargo losing 3 places there. But a dream start for Motomikari, followed by Magic and then Roni. Heat 3 well underway then. That's hard into the wall there for Kata. Martin McElroy's got an absolutely great run at the moment. Over start finish we go. One and a half seconds. Over 1.5 second lead for Martin McElroy now. Over Magic. And Magic himself has about the same gap over his teammate Roney. So fairly spread out at the front of race 2. But Abscargo is looking to pile some pressure on Roney Krompush at the front. And try and get onto that podium. See how he fares. Bit of a tap of the hairpin won't have cost him too much time, but Roney with a better line out has opened the gap dramatically, so Abscargo definitely with an uphill battle now. And not really getting the rear of the car out much through there. More of a drive than a drift as Roney opens that gap up even more. But through the final corner, to come onto the final lap, it's Martin McElroy now with more than the 2.5 second lead over Magic. And it's Roney. Followed by Abscargo and Kata. This has been a good heat so far for Martin McElroy. I wonder how fast it's going to be. It looks smooth, and he's opening the gap up to the rest of the field, which is just what you need to do. And this is his last opportunity to get a good race time in to cement his position in one of the finals. It is possible to be promoted up through the finals, of course, but you want to start as high up as you can. Reduce the amount of effort you need to put in to get a higher finishing position. As across the line comes Martin McElroy, and it's a fast race time, but not the fastest we've seen. 3:01.55. Martin McElroy, 2 seconds back from Magic, then Roney, a further 2 seconds back, Abscargo, and then Kata coming across the line at the back. And here we are then, results on your screen for race 1 of Heat 3. Martin McElroy the victor. As race 2 will be contested between Michael Malik, Lorenzo, Kapal, Redbot and Mad Jester. Drivers in the background having a bit of practice, and a bit of a practice accident there between Mad Jester and Michael. Let's see, Michael Malik, the fastest combined race time of anyone so far in this heat. So let's see how they get on. As it's Michael on the left, Mad Jester on the right, Martin in the middle. And a bad start from Martin. Immediately drops to the back, but maybe that's what he wants. Michael Malik through to the very front. Martin into the rear there of Redbot. And Lorenzo's forced very wide, and Michael's spun and caused a massive roadblock. And as if by magic, Martin Kapal avoids the whole lot and goes from last to first. Was it jammy or was it calculated? Either way, he will be thankful. And through he goes. Drivers voting to restart, super unhappy with how the start of that race went, but no, it is the way it is. And we are off for race 2 of Heat 3. Michael Malik with so much work to do. He still has the advantage. He has the fastest lap time of these, fastest race time of any of the drivers in this heat. So unless somebody beats him, he'll still have a good position in the final. But he would have wanted a really fast race time to hopefully claw his way up the order for said finals. As Martin Kapal has a woeful exit from the first corner and again clips the apex And that's allowing Majesta to close in. And you can't give Majesta an inch because he will take all of it. And wide again goes Martin. A good exit from Majesta and into the lead then. More now for Majesta. Oh, slightly compromised line through the penultimate corner, but he has the lead. Majesta takes over from Martin Capal. The lead onto lap 3. Passes lap as well. Martin's going to have to work hard to get that back. Just needs to improve his line through this section. This is where he lost all the time, and he's pushing the back of Majesta. But he's going to get a poor exit. Majesta's got this all worked out. As Redbot's not had a good... Sorry, Redbot's fine. He's got the fastest lap. It's Lorenzo and Michael who are not doing so well in this heat. They're so far back, I got confused about where they were on the track. I wasn't expecting them to be quite so far back, but there we go. Michael Malik, best he can really hope for here is 4th place if he can get past Lorenzo in the next lap. As down to turn, or the first hairpin rather, we have Majesta and Martin Capal, followed by Redbot. There he is. We're just waiting for Lorenzo and Michael, and this gives you an idea of how much they held each other up. Coming down to the hairpin now. And they are through. As Martin spun. Martin has spun. We missed the incident and risks being overtaken by Redbot, but I think he's got enough of a gap. Majesta comes across the line. He will win this heat race. It will be Martin Capal in P2. Redbot will take P3. And then we wait for Michael and Lorenzo, and surely this will be their drop result. They will not be taking this through into the finals with them. Absolutely not. 20 seconds off the lead. Definitely not. Let's take a look at the results. Majesta wins in 3 minutes 2, followed by Martin Capal and Redbot. Race 3, 4-car heat between Kirill, Dodislav, Samuli and Matti. And you can see there on the right-hand side of their names that the combined race times drop considerably for these top 2 heat races. Sufor, the best combined overall time, 5:56. And here is the current combined results of Heat 3 as they currently stand with 2 races to go. Mortimer Carey leads the way with a 3:01 best lap time. Best race time. And we'll see what changes after the fastest heats. We expect the next 2 heats to be the fastest. We'll see how that goes. As we're ready to go then for this next heat. Kirill, Dodislav, Thamuli and Matti. Here we go. Heat 3, race 3 is green, and it's a good start from Kirill. He has a nose ahead of everybody, but he's on the inside line, which turns to the outside. Matti speared into the wall. 3 into 1 does not go, and Matti unlucky there. But with already 2 good race times in the bank, he doesn't necessarily need to worry too much. This heat is for a final glory at this point. As across the across the sector line we come, and around the hairpin, it's Kirill, Thamuli, Dodislav. And it's close between Thamuli and Dodislav now. Dodislav to the inside, Thamuli very wide as he clipped the wall on the outside at pit exit, and it's Dodislav up to P2 then onto race 2, onto lap 2. But Kirill, comfortable as ever, is opening up the gap with a firm bit of control over this race. And another bad exit out of the hairpin for Thamuli. He likes to drag the car along the walls, does Thamuli. And if you want to see that action live, you can, because he's broadcasting his onboard view on Twitch, twitch.tv Thamuli underscore. As up to the first hairpin with a lap time of 43.27. Super quick for Kirill, and he'll be hoping to secure his place in the A final. And if he can shave a couple of seconds off of his best race time here, then he might just do it, because he's opened up a bit of a gap over Dodislav, who we're currently watching. Here is Kirill, coming around the last two corners to start the final lap here. It might not look like much of a bend on the cameras, but that first kink is definitely tricky to do multiple cars wide. We've seen plenty of examples this evening where cars have gone in 3 or 4 cars wide and just haven't made it. So you've got to be really careful through there. It's quite fast. Fine when you're on your own though. Kirill is doing a good job here. 2.5 second lead over Dodislav. And the gap goes up again after the sector line. And up to start finish he comes, and this will be a good result for him. At 2:57.78, that's exactly what he needed. It's a blisteringly fast overall race time for Kirill there. Dodislav will just go over the 3-minute mark, but another good time from him, as that is our result for race 3 of heat 3. There we are, the results confirmed. A very fast race time that from Kirill. Race 4 though will be between Sufor, Igorka, Tim DC and El Nano. There is an update of the combined results of Heat 3. You can see that Kirill has stormed into the lead with over a 3-second lead over the next best driver, Dodislav, with his second place in that race. So Kirill and Dodislav doing an amazing job at the front of this one. We have a grid in the background for the final race of Heat 3 before we head to our finals. And as we look at it, it's Sufor on the far side. And Tim DC immediately taking to the lead in that blue and yellow, but forced out wide. And it's Sufor back into the lead. Tim down to P3 as Igorka takes over. Oh, but he spun Sufor around, and it's going to be a scrum to get going again. Remember, folks, this is all about fastest race time. If you've got a bundle of cars facing the wrong way at turn 1, it's not going to be a fast heat for anybody. So the drivers need to focus a little bit on working together as best they can. It doesn't help if a car spins in front of you though. Not really a lot you can do. But you can certainly help not push them further around, as we've got Tim DC battling hard with Igorka now. Igorka leads. As we come up to the start-finish line, it's a bit of a scrum. We've got Sufor trying to power his way through Tim DC. Igorka leading with a bit of a gap now. Sufor, conscious that he's leading overall, will really want to get past and try and get another win, as well as improving on his fastest race time. I reckon Kirill's got a really good chance of knocking Sufor off the top step into the A final here. But we'll see what Sufor can manage. It's not over yet, but he has 2 cars in his way, and it was not a good turn 1 for anybody in this race. Igorka leads still as we come up to start-finish. To start the final, the third lap of this final heat race. Fastest lap for Igorka, a 43.63, not the fastest lap we've seen, so this is not going the way of any of these drivers. It might be the drivers from race 3, Kirill and Dodislav, who find themselves at the top of the A final at this rate. Kirill certainly will be in the A final after this performance from these guys. But they are very close together, and so it remains. So these guys may stay together and be in the same final together potentially because of how close their finishing result will be. But it is the top two race times combined that will set the finals grids. Zafiralis loses a little bit of time through the final couple of corners there. Didn't have a comfortable line at all, and that's allowed his teammate Nano now to catch up. But what a fall from grace for Nano. Led very, very quickly out the gates alongside his teammate, but finds himself at the back fighting with Igorka and Tim, who seem to have warmed up to the event now, putting in good lap times. As we come around the final corner on the final lap, it is Igorka who leads. Tim DC in second. As up to start finish we come. And it's Igorka who wins. Tim in second, Sufor third, and Nano comes across the line in fourth. And actually, well, they crossed the line so close together, and the race time was 4 seconds slower than the previous heat. So let's see how that impacts our overall results, shall we? And see what the results look like from our overall heats. Give our graphics a moment to update. And there we go. Kirill wins heat 3, followed by Dodislav and Igorka, who we just saw come around to win race 4. Mortimer Carey, who won the first heat, the first race in heat 3. He is in P4. A lot of numbers in the wrong order there. I apologise. And in a moment, we will be able to confirm for you the grids for our final. So we will stand by and wait until those can be confirmed for you. Just waiting for the grids to be decided for our finals. But we will have a D final. We'll have 4 finals races, and these are each going to be 5 laps in length. And we're going to have a slightly tweaked layout for this next race, as we will have extra starting positions or a different starting position layout for the count of potentially more cars on the grid per race. While we wait for the grids to be confirmed then for the finals, let's talk a little bit about the rest of this championship here today, because of course this is not the normal proceedings for ZFRL. It's quite unusual actually, but it is the new format for 2025. 4 dirt rounds throughout the year of 4 different environments, and they're all going to take this format. We're going to have quick fire heats followed by finals, and they will be at different environments. As I said, the next time we are covering the championship is for its 3rd round at the beginning of March, and that will be at Rockingham again, but it'll be on a combination with slick tyres. So we look forward to seeing the announcement for that. So do keep posted on this season, and please join us on the grid for round 3. A slick race at Rockingham at some combination to be decided. Should be fun. We have grids confirmed for the finals. So we'll get those up on the screen for you to see just now. And we can see that it is Sufor who did manage to keep a grip on the A final lead. Kirill there, after a very, very strong final heat, does secure P2 in the A final, followed by Igorka, Tim DC, Nano. Then in the B final, it's Dodislav, Thamuli, Matti, Michael, and Majesta. In the C final, we've got Lorenzo, Martin McCarry, Martin Capal, Magic, and Roni. And then the D final will be between Redbot, Abscargo, and Kata. Now, the winner of the D final will be promoted into the C final, the winner of the C final into the B final, and the winner of the B final into the A final, which means, as we say time and time again, anybody can win it. Everyone is still involved. Kata can win it, Abscargo can win it, Redbot can win it if they can promote themselves up through the different finals into the A final. But toppling the likes of Tim DC, Sufor, Nano, Kirill, and Igorka is going to be difficult tonight. They've proven themselves to be very quick indeed. And yeah, let's see how everyone gets on here. The drivers are ready, the organisers are ready, the finals are a go. Let's go for the first final. This will be the 3-car D final, contested between Redbot, Abscargo, and Kata. And here they go. The lights are going green, and we are away. And it's a good start for Redbot, who leads the 2 red machines, Kata and Abscargo. Kata there at the back. And into the wall for Redbot, and it's a big pile up already. Abscargo unlucky. Oh, and into the tyres. It's a bit scrappy. Oh, it's very scrappy. And into the gravel for Redbot, and with egg on their faces, this has been a disaster so far. But it is Abscargo who leads ahead of Kata now. But Redbot, what on earth happened there? He's got a lot of work to do to catch back up. I don't think it's going to happen. We do have 5 laps in these finals, of course. But has Redbot got what it takes to catch up now with a 7-second deficit to the red machines that currently lead? Thanks for joining us for round 2 of the Zafiralis All Rounder Championship in Live for Speed. This is a rally cross event, of course, in partnership with New Dimension Racing, who have provided their race control app for our enjoyment this evening. As the main interest of this final, the D final, is between Kata and Abscargo here. Kata trying to chase very different lines through the final corner. But Abscargo now opening up a bit of a lead. Fastest lap goes to Kata though. And Redbot has had an even worse time of it. He's now 14 seconds back. He lost a bit more time. And the drivers can see him coming the other way as they come up to the halfway stage on the lap. There they go. There's 3 turns to go then. And we will see what that gap is between P1 and P2. I mean, visibly it hasn't changed too much. But Kata is not gaining as much as he needs to at this stage. Yeah, the gap comes down slightly, but only by 0.03. Not enough for Kata to impact the lead. And again, Kata losing more time, dragging the car around the concrete barriers at turn 1. And Redbot will just want this race to end now. Fair play for continuing on with it, but yeah. Through and down the hill, 2 corners to go. And Abscargo will be on his way to the C final after 1 more lap of racing, with no challenge from behind now and no challenge ahead. 2.6 seconds the gap back to Kata. So just 1 more clean lap for Abscargo and he will be promoted. big bump as they go over one of the footpaths. Oh, as Kata there spins around and into the barrier, that was quite an unusual one. I think Redbot is far enough behind that he should be able to recover. As across the line comes Abscargo to win in a time of 3:53. Remember that they did an extra lap, so that would have been a slow lap time before, a slow race time, but we will see how that compares to the rest of our finals. As across the line in second comes Kata, and third place for Redbot. So there we go, the results of your D final. Abscargo will be promoted into the C final. That result will be reflected momentarily. There you can see in the position C6 on your graphic, Abscargo, the number 18, promoted through into the C final. To join Lorenzo, Motta McCarry, Martin Capal, Magic, and Roni. C final coming up. The drivers being allowed a little bit of time to warm up ahead of the C final. Here they come in the background across start finish. There's Roni, there's Martin, yellow and green. As we get ready to go then, the race is restarted. And we have a grid, and what a grid it is. Lots of race green cars. 3 race green cars to be precise, as we are away. And it's neck and neck at the front between Motta McCarry and Lorenzo. And a bad start for Michael. Sorry, for Abscargo. And through the first hairpin they go, and it's a tricky getaway there for Martin Capal, who's down from P3 to P5. And Lorenzo keeps his lead in the race. Motta McCarry keeps P2. Magic up to P3. As Roni has had a bad exit, and well, he'll just about keep his position over Martin Capal. But we've got a 6-car race here, as we've got a battle on for P2 here. Lorenzo still cleanly in the lead. Oh no, but he's had a bad exit, and that's Motta McCarry forcing himself through, or trying to, as we race down to the hairpin. And this is starting to hot up. The D final was a walk compared to this, as Abscargo there is starting to realise that. He's at the back and dropping back even further as Lorenzo and Motta McCarry battle it out at the front. And it's great to watch as all the cars come bouncing through to the final sector of the lap. Motta McCarry was really under pressure from Magic a couple of moments ago, but the tables have turned. Magic is now being put under a bit of pressure from his teammate Roni, as wide goes Lorenzo. Oh, and Magic into the wall hard. He's going to spear across the track again, surely. Yep, and he's sort of got himself into a bad rhythm. Oh, he's tagged his teammate. Oh, and he's tagged Martin. And everyone goes round. A bit silly lap from Martin. He could see that unfolding, surely. And Magic tumbles down to the very back. With that tiny mistake on the entry into turn 1, it really, really punishes you if you're offline. As over the sector line comes Lorenzo with a 1-second lead over Motta McCarry. Race green versus the hosts, Zafiralis here. Remember, only one of these cars goes through. Motta McCarry needs to win this to go through to the B final. At the moment, that will go to Lorenzo. On to lap 4 we go. And we ride on board with Motta McCarry over the jumps down to the hairpin. This is a brilliant little track that they've put together for this. Really, really technical. Nicely put together, making good use of the grassy sections as well as some of the tarmac. But you can see there visibly that the gap between Martin McElroy and Lorenzo is extending, not contracting. As we head over the sector line again, and Lorenzo's pulled another 0.3 of a gap over Martin McElroy. One lap to go in the C final. Lorenzo crosses the line ahead of Martin McElroy. Then it'll be Roney with clean air behind him, and Abskar Go has made it up to P4 from the back, so good effort for him. Martin Kapal and Magic way down at this point, with a lot of work to do to get higher up in this C final. But 4 corners to go for Lorenzo before he will take his place in the B final in round 2 of Zafiralis All Rounder Championship. And it really is an All Rounder Championship this year, a different format for the rally rounds, which is exciting, and I'd say so far a great success. This has been brilliant fun and a very, very fast race time there. 5 seconds faster than the D final for Lorenzo, a 3:48.35 as everyone is across the line. Martin Kapal credited with the fastest lap, and there we have it. Your podium is Lorenzo, Martin McElroy and Roney, and we have the grid being set for our B final. As you can see there, Lorenzo has been added into slot B6 to join Dodislav, Thamuli, Matti, Michael and Majesta. Abskar Go's rise up the list stops now, and he's replaced by Lorenzo, who gets promoted from C to B in what will be another 6-car race. So a nice amount of cars, good amount of racing, good clean racing as well for the most part. As the drivers are almost ready in the background, the grid is ready to be set. We're currently watching in the background Matti doing a bit of warm-up. The Muli is here as well, ready to try and defend obviously his championship this season. We're in the second round and he has to make it through the B final to get into the A final if he has any chance of scoring maximum points in today's racing. As we have a grid once again, and on the front row it's Dodislav and Thamuli, then Matti and Michael, Majesta and Lorenzo, and we are racing. The drivers set off, and we don't want to see what we saw in the C final. Please, nice and clean into turn 1. A little bit of body crunching, but everybody through. And it's Dodislav who has the lead, followed by Michael Malek, Thamuli, Matti and Lorenzo. You'll get an update on your timing tower at the line as Michael and Thamuli slam into the wall over the timing line. But the results are updated. And it's Dodislav who leads with an 0.8 of a second lead over Michael Malek, who is himself under a bit of pressure, or he was under pressure, he still is under pressure from Thamuli, who's got it a bit out of shape over start finish. And that could give Matti a sniff of that third place. But Michael giving up a bit of time, compromising Thamuli's line through the hairpin a little bit. Live on Twitch is Thamuli, and if he makes it through this final, you'll definitely want to have that broadcast up as well. An onboard perspective in the A final will be a nice one if he can manage it, but currently he's in P3 and he's got to get past Michael and then chase down Dodislav in the space of 3 laps, which is what he will have when he crosses the start finish line now. 3 laps to go. Michael Malek will be highly motivated to keep that position, given that he had a fairly dismal season of Master Race Car Rallycross Championship that concluded yesterday. Present at every round, but not the results he would have wanted. But right now, he is just 1 place away from a spot in the A final, is Michael Malek, and he needs to gain 1.7 seconds in 2 laps on Dodislav while being pressured by Thimuli behind. A difficult prospect for sure, as Dodislav comes across the start-finish with another fast lap time of 43.53. It's his fastest of the event so far. But Thimuli's gone even faster, a 43.38, and continues to pile the pressure on Michael Malik, as Lorenzo's trying to make a move around the outside on Matti. It hasn't worked, and he could potentially lose a place here to Majesta. They're side by side, and Majesta's trying to go around the outside, and he's done it. Lorenzo's going to tag him and try and push him out of the way. Oh, and Lorenzo turns him around. Dirty play there from Lorenzo. And Thimuli's also had a drama. Thimuli loses a place as well. So it's not going to be for Thimuli. He's not going to be in the A final. At the moment, it looks sure to be Dodislav, who has a 2-second lead as we head on to the final lap then. And it's actually Michael Malik who finds himself in P2 in this race now then. As out of the final couple of corners we come, and it'll be Dodislav crossing the line to win this one. Across the line he comes. Michael Malik will finish second, and then third place after the demise of Thimuli, somewhere around the back of the lap, will come Matti, then Thimuli, Majesta, and Lorenzo will take 6th place in this one. After being, I assume he gave a position back to Majesta. As there we go. Your grids once again, and you'll see that Dodislav is promoted into the A final. But it is Sufor who will lead the way. He'll be on the pole position alongside Kirill on the front row, Igorka, then Tim DC, El Nano, and Dodislav, the B final winner. So different winners in each of our finals so far. Dodislav, the lucky driver who made it up from pole position in the B final to P6 in the A final, and the spread of times across the A final is just 6 seconds. In fact, it's less than 6 seconds. It's about 5.5 seconds. So considering that that's the best 2 race times, that's very, very close. So it's going to be anybody's game. Who is going to win the A final here in round 2 of Zafiralis All Rounder Championship in Live for Speed? Final race of the day coming up right now. Tim DC there on row 2. He won't be starting behind Sufor, so that could potentially be a good opportunity for him to make an early move, but we will see. There he is, lined up, waiting to go, as Sufor and Kirill will put the pedal to the metal and get this race underway. 2 by 2 they will go into the first corner. Tim trying to get through, but he's spun round, and it's a disastrous start. You have to keep your nose clean at the beginning of these races, otherwise it's a super, super hard climb back up, and Tim gets spun at the first opportunity. It's Kirill and Igorka side by side out of turn 4, and Tim straight to the back. But Nano now up to P5, his teammate leading the race still, with Dodislav, our B final winner, currently up to P5 in this race. Sufor leads after 1 lap, followed by Kirill, who's been fast all evening long, but has he got what it takes to overtake Sufor right now? Doesn't look like it. Sufor is on another plane at the moment, as Igorka might make this even easier for Sufor. Oh no! Nano's tagged the back of Igorka and has spun round and caused an even bigger roadblock, and there's one person in this group that's going to be even more angry at that, and it's Tim. He will have hated being caught up like that. But that's what happens at a pinch point, and you cannot help it. That is the luck of the draw, unfortunately, as around the final couple of corners comes Sufor. So far, so good. 3 laps to go in the A final. Gap to P2 just over a second, and opens up a little bit, opens up by 0.4 of a second in the second half of the lap. So Sufor slowly but surely getting ready to place 2 hands on the trophy tonight. Kirill and Igorka. What can they do? There's a bit of a gap back to El Nano, but there's a sort of a fight for last place emerging. The gap to P4 is reducing as Dodislav starts to close in, and Tim will inevitably close in as well, unless his car's too damaged, but I think he's fine. As Sufor has definitely been caught by Kirill now, and we are going to have a lead battle in our A final, something we don't say too often in rally. Normally, there is a relatively clear winner that pulls a bit of a gap early on, and that's that. But now, Kirill has reeled Sufor in. And it's anyone's game. 2 laps to go. In fact, 1 lap to go now as they cross over. Start finish. Up the hill and onto the final lap. What can Kirill do? He'll need to go for a big send, a big brave lunge somewhere if he's going to go for it. But he has to do it quickly. You run out of opportunities if you don't go for one at the early moment, and he's bumped into the back of Sufor. That's going to cost him some time. Looks like it compromised Sufor's exit as well, so actually it's not that bad for him. But let's see. With 4 corners to go now, what can Kirill do? He has the fastest lap, he has the momentum with him, but he has a car in his face. He has a car ahead of him, and it's Sufor, and I don't think it's going to change. 2 turns to go. There's one of them. 1 to go. Oh, it's gone wrong for Sufor. What's he done? He's gone to the inside line to defend, and Kirill comes around the outside to take it at the final minute. What was Sufor thinking? He lost the race at the line, took a very unusual line through the final corner, a line that's different to the way that he took every single lap previously. And at the line, Kirill is your winner of round 2. Amazing stuff. There are the results confirmed that it was only 0.02 of a second, the gap between Kirill and Sufor. And I think, well, I mean, Kirill had to be in the right place at the right time, of course, but Sufor has handed that to him on a silver platter. What was that line through the final corner for Sufor? And everybody else will be looking at that in confusion as well, I'm sure. But it's Igorka in P3, Nano in P4, Dodislav 5th, and Tim DC, unfortunately, in the final spot there. Which means that we should be able to confirm for you the overall final results of this evening's action. Just bear with us while we put those that information together. Overall results are coming, and we'll be able to confirm the final rundown of our order this evening. But yeah, once again, those results from the final race, and we have a podium photo in the background. You can see our drivers. And there we have our overall results from tonight. Kirill wins the A final with Sufor, Gorka, Nano, Borislav, Tim DC, and Michael Malik. Michael Malik winning the B final, or rather coming second place in the B final, my mistake. Borislav won the B final. Then we've got Matti, Thamuli, and Majesti, your top 10, with Lorenzo, Motomikari, Roni, Abscargo, Martin Kapal, Magic, Kata, and Redbot, your 18 competitors. And that brings our coverage of Zafiralis All Rounder Championship round number 2 to a successful close, I would say. The first time that Zafiralis have run this format, so I would say that went pretty well for them. So well done. And it is a great result for Kirill, who took a brilliant victory in the end over the rest of the field. And that brings to a close our coverage of the Zafiralis All Rounder Championship for this month. The series will return in 1 month's time at the beginning of March, where we will be back at Rockingham, but using slick tyres. And the combination will be confirmed. And it looks like it's going to be the Formula V8. Sorry, not the Formula V8, the Chimera JGT mod at Rockingham 8. So that's Rockingham Historic. I'll read my own handwriting. And yeah, that'll be on March 3rd at 10 to 7 UTC. So same time, same place, different format once again. But yeah, that was tonight's action from Rockingham. Remember that there are going to be 4 dirt rounds throughout the year. Round 5 will also be a dirt round. Round 8 will be a dirt round. And round 11 will be a dirt round. So if you like the format that we had on show tonight, then you can join us for those rounds and hopefully all the others to boost our grids here for All Rounder Championship in for Speed. Thanks very much again to New Dimension Racing and to Chris McElroy from the Sim Broadcast team for putting together the system that controls the graphics for our rally events here on Sim Broadcast. We really appreciate that because it isn't easy and things are difficult when there are so many different systems working together. So we appreciate the complexity of all of that. And yeah, thanks to all of you for watching. Thanks to our competitors. And of course, thanks to Zafiralis for hosting us this evening. We look forward to being back for more action later this week with Roni's Tuesday Fun Race tomorrow night. That'll be round 3 of the first season of 2025. And then Sunday, we head to the E-Challenge with Master Race Car, promoting that series for us on Sunday. For all the events that we cover, you can head over to simbroadcasts.tv and check out our calendar over there. But from all of us here at Sim Broadcast, we hope you have a great night. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.